Hey, they were trolling you. They got you. Hi, I'm Jim Cardona from Cardona Pinball Designs. I'm sitting here in front of my Fishtails pinball machine. A couple weeks ago, there was a post of the Pinball Brothers and the European pinball guys that had recently joined with Pedretti. So I don't know if the post was on Pedretti's feed or the Pinball Brothers, but they had posted a picture of a Fishtails pinball machine with that's it. That was the caption. There was a Twilight Zone next to it, but then there was all this speculation about, hey, maybe Fishtails is their next game, because it's been widely publicized that they have picked up a license from Planetary Pinball to remake Bally Williams titles, which previously only Chicago Gaming was doing. So a lot of times they don't tell you about what was the behind the scenes of that. Because I deal with some of those guys, and they do chat me up a little bit. I know a little bit of stuff. I don't know everything, but what I do know 100% is they were trolling you. They're not remaking Fishtails, or I can at least say it this way: Fishtails is not their first game. Okay, 100%. I know that. As far as the other things that have happened, there's been some speculation that, hey, CGC had a limited license, which they did, and that was coming to run out, and they decided to, now that they're making Pulp Fiction, that they were just going to go that direction and not do any more Bally Williams titles. That's possible, but Planetary did say that they were still working with CGC. I do know that some other things, like there was a lot of rumors that some of the next titles from CGC were Theater of Magic, Tale of Arabian Nights, and then we saw the Tale of Arabian Nights 2.0 come out, which was very short-lived, and so those people had gotten that license for the 2.0. So my personal speculation is that those two are probably not two of the titles. If CGC still has them, they're probably not going to be doing those two titles. The other thing was, there was some speculation about, Pedretti's been doing 2.0 games, just like my company does. And they did Funhouse, they did Whirlwind. And people were saying, well, when they do a remake of an original game, are they going to do a 2.0? Of course they are. Of course they are. That's part of their core business. And I don't know why anybody would not want that. Haggis has been doing it for some time now, and the results are really good. Why wouldn't you want a second game in your original? That makes no sense to me. The only thing I can think is that the only people who are crying about that are people who own the original game and are going to feel like, well, my original game doesn't play two games, so therefore now it's going to get devalued. But other than that, anybody who doesn't own the original game and has always wanted it, now you're going to get this 2-for-1. To me, is a no-brainer. If you get whether their next one is a Twilight Zone or not. I think it could be, but wouldn't you want a second game? And now here's one other piece of information that's probably not out there that I have, and this is not any specific knowledge to me. This is among developers. This is common knowledge. But one of the programmers who works for them, Brian, he originally wrote the 2.0 for Twilight Zone. It used the DMD though, but this was at least 10 years ago. So it was already something that he had done years ago, before he worked for Highway, before he worked for Pedretti and the Pinball Brothers. I guess he doesn't work for Pedretti, he works for Pinball Brothers. But before that happened, because he's the guy who's done the Aliens Code and the Queen Code, and maybe not the only programmer, but he's the only one that I've interacted with from that team years ago. And he's part of the reason that I got into it, actually, because his Twilight Zone code got me real motivated to work on pinball machines. So between him and Eric from Barrels of Fun, those two guys really motivated me to get into pinball coding. So, you know, it's not that big of a community. A lot of us talk to each other. We hear different things. You bump into each other, you know, and then you just remember, right? Like people know that Eric did Cactus Canyon Continued, and then he worked for Spooky, and now he's working for Barrel of Fun. A lot of people, some people don't know that, some people do. It's likewise, you know, Brian, you know, he did this Twilight Zone code. So to me, it would be no surprise at all if that was their game and they did a 2.0 on it. Not saying that I have that insider knowledge, because I don't, but it wouldn't surprise me. Anyways, but as far as Fishtails, they were definitely trolling you. I know 100% that that's not their first game.